the young, and the restless. Spoilers, full. Welcome back to our channel. Today is an absolutely wild day in the soap world. And honestly, we need to unpack everything that just went down because my mind is completely blown. Grab your favorite snack, settle in, and let's get right into this mess. I cannot believe Jack Abbott right now. Seriously, what is going through this man's head? I am sitting here screaming at my screen because this entire situation at Crimson Lights is just a disaster waiting to happen. Before I even get into the nitty-gritty of the actual plan, can we just talk about the fact that Jack is casually having coffee with Patty Williams? Patty Williams, the woman who literally poisoned Summer Newman years ago, the woman who was just caught in his bed on that boat, and he's just chilling with her in public. Like, what if Diane walked in? What if literally anyone walked in? I am losing my mind over the sheer stupidity of these characters sometimes. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's rewind. So Patty strolls up to Jack at Crimson Lights, and she has the absolute audacity to comment on the fact that he's still wearing his wedding ring. I mean, the delusion of this woman is honestly unmatched. She is acting like Jack and Diane's marriage is completely over and done with just because of that one staged incident on the boat. And then she actually suggests that Jack should explore the sparks between them. Sparks? Are you kidding me? The only sparks between Jack and Patty are the ones coming off the burning wreckage of Jack's life right now. I've been watching this show since 2015, and I have seen some unhinged behavior. But Patty acting like she's Jack's next great love story is just peak soap opera insanity. And what does Jack do? Does he tell her to get lost? Does he call security? No, because Jack Abbott always thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. He actually tries to use this moment to manipulate Patty. He starts digging, trying to get her to admit that Victor Newman was the one who put her up to the whole boat scheme. I mean, we all know Victor did it. Victor has been obsessed with ruining Jack's life for literal decades. Remember when they tried this whole frame Jack thing back in the day? You remember the whole Marco Anicelli fake Jack nightmare? Yeah, didn't work then either. But Victor never learns, and neither does Jack. It is a never-ending cycle of these two old men trying to destroy each other while their families suffer the consequences. So Jack is sitting there trying to play 4D chess with Patty Williams, hoping she'll just confess that the mustache paid her off so Victor could swoop in and play hero. But honestly, Jack is playing with fire. You cannot out-manipulate someone who is as unpredictable as Patty. She is a total wild card. She shot Victor once upon a time, remember? I know some people are loving this whole nostalgia trip with Patty being back and causing chaos, but personally, I am terrified for Jack. He is so desperate to clear his name with Diane that he's risking everything just to get a confession out of a woman who probably doesn't even know what day it is half the time. Thank God Kyle Abbott finally showed up. Am I the only one who literally cheered when Kyle walked in and immediately started scolding Jack? Because somebody had to do it. Kyle takes one look at his dad sitting with the woman who just blew up his marriage and goes off. What if Diane had walked in exactly Kyle? Exactly. Diane is already on the verge of filing for divorce because she caught Jack with Nikki, and now Jack is out here having cozy little chats with Patty. Diane would have actually murdered him right there by the espresso machine. I am not even exaggerating. Diane Jenkins Abbott is not a woman you want to push to the edge, and Jack is practically tap dancing on the cliff. But Kyle doesn't just stop at yelling at his dad. Oh no, Kyle is stepping up. And I am kind of here for it, but also kind of dreading it. So Jack starts hinting that he's going to use Patty to take down Victor, and Kyle just shuts him down. Kyle insists that Hachi needs to be the one to lead the charge against Victor. He tells Jack to go home, focus on his marriage, beg Diane for forgiveness, and let Kyle handle the Newman patriarch. I mean, wow. Okay, Kyle Abbott versus Victor Newman. Are we really doing this? Wait, let me process this for a second. Kyle thinks he can outsmart Victor Newman. I love Kyle. I really do. But let's be real. Victor eats guys like Kyle for breakfast. Remember when Kyle tried to play in the big leagues at Jabo and almost tanked everything because he got outmaneuvered? Victor's going to see Kyle coming from a mile away. Or will he? Because that's the argument Kyle makes. Kyle says Victor won't expect him to be the one pulling the strings. Victor is so obsessed with Jack that he might completely ignore Kyle. And you know what? That kind of makes sense. Sometimes I contradict myself, right? Like, maybe Kyle actually has a shot here because Victor's ego is too big to even view Kyle as a legitimate threat. Kyle has been desperate to prove himself as the ultimate Abbott protector for years, and this could be his defining moment. Let's talk a little more about Kyle for a second, because his psychology in this scene is actually fascinating. Kyle has spent his entire adult life bouncing between wanting to be his own man and desperately seeking Jack's approval. When he walked into Crimson Lights and saw Jack with Patty, you could see the sheer panic in his eyes, but also this sudden realization that his father is fallible. Jack is slipping. Jack is making rookie mistakes because he's blinded by his hatred for Victor and his fear of losing Diane. Kyle stepping up and saying, "I'll take the lead," isn't just about protecting Jabot or the family legacy. It's about Kyle finally realizing that he has to be the adult in the room. He has to protect Jack from himself. But the arrogance of youth is blinding Kyle to the reality of who he is dealing with. Victor Newman doesn't just defeat his enemies. He crushes their spirits. If Kyle goes after Victor, Victor won't just retaliate in business. He will go after Kyle's personal life, his relationships, everything. Kyle is walking into a meat grinder, and he's doing it with a smile on his face because he thinks he's invisible to the mustache. But then Jack drops the absolute biggest bombshell of the entire episode, and I am still recovering. Jack agrees to let Kyle take the lead on the business side of destroying Victor, but Jack has his own twisted little plan. Jack suggests that they use Patty to destroy any chance of Nikki and Victor getting back together. Wait, what? Jack Abbott is going to weaponize Patty Williams against Nikki Newman? I need to take a deep breath because this is just too much. Jack and Nikki have so much history. They literally just got caught in a compromising position by Diane. Nikki's been leaning on Jack, Jack has been leaning on Nikki, and now Jack wants to use the most unhinged woman in Genoa City to make sure Victor and Nikki never reconcile. That is ice cold. I kind of love it, but I also hate it because it's so messy. Why would Jack want to ruin Nikki's life just to get back at Victor? Or is he doing it because he secretly wants Nikki for himself? Oh my God, is that what's happening? Is Jack trying to isolate Nikki from Victor so he can swoop in as her white knight again? And returning to this absolutely deranged plan to keep Nikki and Victor apart, I just can't get over the sheer audacity of Jack Abbott. Jack has always fancied himself as Nikki's savior. Whenever Victor treats Nikki like garbage, which, let's be honest, is pretty much every other Tuesday, Jack is right there with a shoulder to cry on and a glass of non-alcoholic cider. But this, actively deploying Patty Williams to sabotage their marriage, that crosses a line from concerned friend to villainous mastermind. Makes me wonder if Jack has finally snapped. Is the pressure of Diane's ultimatums, Victor's constant attacks, and the memory of the boat incident finally breaking Jack's moral compass? Because the Jack Abbott I know, the one who prides himself on being better than Victor, wouldn't use a mentally unstable woman as a pawn to destroy a marriage. He's sinking to Victor's level, and the tragedy is that he doesn't even see it. He thinks he's justified. He thinks he's fighting fire with fire, but he's just going to burn the whole city down. Let's really think about this. If Patty somehow interferes with Victor and Nikki, Victor is going to go absolute scorched earth. We thought Victor was mad before. If Jack uses Patty to mess with Nikki, Victor will literally burn the Abbott mansion to the ground. If what is Patty going to do? Is she going to seduce Victor? Is she going to frame Victor for something? Is she going to target Nikki directly? The possibilities are endless and terrifying. We all know Patty has zero boundaries. If Jack points her in Nikki's direction, he is essentially unleashing a monster on a woman he claims to care about. I know a lot of fans in the forums are saying that Jack is finally growing a backbone and fighting dirty like Victor does. And sure, I get that. For years, we've watched Victor pull these disgusting stunts like the AI emails with Phyllis or the constant manipulation of his own kids. So seeing Jack finally say, you know what, I'm going to use your own pawn against you, is incredibly satisfying. But at what cost? If Jack unleashes Patty on the Newmans, the collateral damage is going to be insane. And what about Diane? If Diane finds out that Jack is orchestrating this massive, convoluted revenge plot involving Patty and Nikki, she is going to pack her bags and leave for good. Diane wants peace, she wants loyalty, and she wants Jack to stay away from other women. Instead, Jack is basically starting a secret agent ring with his son and his crazy ex-lover to take down his arch nemesis. This is not how you save a marriage, Jack. You don't save a marriage by plotting to destroy someone else's. I am so stressed out just thinking about next week. Kyle is going to be running around trying to play corporate espionage with Victor. Jack is going to be playing mind games with Patty, and Diane is just going to be sitting at home plotting her own revenge, because we know Diane doesn't just sit around and cry. She's already been talking to Victor. What if Diane and Victor team up while Jack and Kyle are teaming up and they all just destroy each other? The hypocrisy of it all is just staggering. Honestly, I am here for the drama. I kind of want to see Kyle actually get a win against Victor for once. It would be such a massive shift in the power dynamics of Genoa City. It would finally prove that the younger generation can hold their own against the Titans. But I also know this show, the writers love Victor too much to let him lose to Kyle Abbott. It's going to backfire. I can feel it in my bones. Kyle is going to make one tiny mistake, Victor will exploit it, and Jack will have to come rushing in to save his son, ruining his marriage with Diane once and for all. And Patty, Stacy Hyduck is acting her heart out, and I am loving every second of her being back on my screen, but she is a ticking time bomb. If Jack thinks he can control her, he is the biggest fool in the world. You don't control a hurricane, Jack. You just try not to get swept away. The fact that Jack is even entertaining this idea shows how desperate and broken he is right now. He is letting Victor's toxicity infect him, and it is so hard to watch. So yeah, I'm typing this furiously late at night because I just needed to vent. Am I the only one who thinks Jack has completely lost the plot? Are we really rooting for Kyle to take down the mustache? Can Jack really pull off this insane scheme to keep Victor and Nikki apart? Or is this going to blow up in his face in the most spectacular way possible? Let me know what you guys think, because I am spiraling over here. This show is going to be the death of me, I swear. But I'll be right back here watching tomorrow because I am hopelessly addicted. We are in for a wild ride, you guys. Buckle up.